if you are listening to us within Abuja. But why? Come on, you want to leave us alone? We want to celebrate with you. We want to be with you. So don't rush out of town and leave us here alone, because there are so many reasons to be here. If there's no other reason, understand that Human Rights Radio is here, is running 24 hours for your sake, because you are out there. And because of you, we will be here. It's nothing like Christmas. We'll run our shows. We'll do everything. We'll run every program that has been your best on this station, on this platform. And we're beginning from tonight. The stadium. No member of the team of the stadium traveled just because of you. And we're here tonight again because of the stadium. This is the stadium on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. What are your points of anger, agitations, surprises, or waiting to make you the vex? Say waiting. Because the rice don't change price for market. I've been because chicken don't change price. When they buy 1.5 before, don't become 1.7, or it don't reach 2K or 2,500, or if it will be like how many naira before, don't be 300 naira per liter. I mean, you don't do for queue for like the past 2 days. You never reach where they go pump. I mean, you don't near the pump. You see, they say they're going to say, you know what, Oga? They go use big English. Oga, fair don't finish. Bye, fair. Bad this and that, say you don't finish, yeah, Peter, all this stuff, the vex. No, don't be angry, because we are here with you. Everything will be fine. Welcome to the program. This is Ted, and as usual, on the eve of Christmas, I'm not doing this alone as well. I'm here with my super sub striker. Did you escape the crowd at the filling station? First of all, well, different levels of crowds today.
Exactly. You know, they said there's a saying that goes, "A man is forever caught in a continuous state of waiting." So it's either you're waiting for fuel, you're waiting for ATM queues to subside, you're waiting to buy that chicken.
It just took me somewhere that it's ATMs. Why should ATMs not function? During holidays, what's the essence of the ATM?
Exactly.
It is there to serve you, so you don't get into the banking hall to withdraw. So when the banks close, the ATMs close, and there's no, you go everywhere from wherever, and there's no money, there's no cash in there. You see queue as long as a filling station, and by the time you get there, maybe you are lucky the person in front of you was able to withdraw 500 naira. Then all of a sudden you get there, you type you want to withdraw 300. They say, okay, 300 naira. You know, people can withdraw 300 naira. Depends on what you have. Now say, temporarily unable to dispense cash. And then they won't say take your card because
no network.
Or your card is gone.
Exactly.
And the bank staff is there. They can't return your card to you. It's actually by the law, the rule and the law now. They damage it. So you're going to lose 1,000 naira to get a new card because they won't return it to you, unless a pitiable staff gives back to you because it is your bank that you attempted to access. But not all banks have ATMs located everywhere within the city here where they should be.
The whole point is, this is
the essence of it
an
is
automated teller machine.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to make the whole transaction easier.
Yes.
I remember I went to a shop and I didn't have the cash to pay for it, and I offered, I have an ATM. Would you? Oh, sorry, our POS isn't working. And I'm standing there with my goods, and I'm thinking, okay, so I have the money to pay you, but the money is sitting inside my account. Yes. You have a POS machine that does not work. What am I supposed to do in this situation? Should I return my goods and go back home? Should you not transfer or do the business? We were standing there. It was a very awkward situation. So it's very odd, especially this holiday period where ATMs are not actually working when they're supposed to work during the holidays. POS machines are not working when they're supposed to work during the holidays. Fuel you can't buy. I mean, it's sort of like we're playing chess and this is a stalemate.
It's not easy, Buchi. Queues at ATMs, queues at filling stations, queues in the markets to even have your chicken slaughtered or taken care of.
It's an issue.
Home. And then queues in the front of Human Rights Radio because the executive media strategist, in his magnanimity, said he wants to help and empower some widows today.
Yes.
Out of what people donated to him, he decided to give it out. And I must say that I came to work. Akaramakala had to save me to get inside because the crowd outside was like a political campaign. You know when they hire fake crowd to say, okay, we want to say Oga, say Megida, say this, and to come and come and win the election and this and that. That was the crowd I saw, and I was like, does Oga know what he's actually doing? He said 70 widows only. He announced it on air, but the population I saw outside was over 500.
Yes, that's
and
true.
All that. and from his heart, he has emptied what I've seen inside. He has emptied whatever he has to make sure he reaches out to these people. And there are people out there who have more than what he has, but all that is rotting in their houses. It will rotten by the beginning of the year. It has already started rotting, and the year will start to rotten until March, April, June, July. They will throw them away. They don't know who to. Philanthropists are out there trying to help, but yet out there are people who have excess. They can't look around to see the plight of people who are suffering, fighting to get just a mudu or two of rice to go and cook food for their families and everything. Anyway, we're not talking anything. This is Sports on Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting. My name is Ted, and Buchi is here. And there are a lot of trending stories. Of course, people are still reacting to the games that took place. There are no games today. Most of the leagues, they have at least taken some break to rest today and tomorrow, but the games will come back on Tuesday.
Yes.
When we return from this very, very, very short break, we'll give you details of the games that will be coming up on Tuesday and how tight it is for a lot of teams, a lot of complaints coming up, and then the transfer market is going to open. Just a matter of days. Which team needs which player, or which team doesn't need any player? Or if you have to recommend a manager that should be sacked, which one? Maybe your recommendation could go as far as getting to the boss of some of these clubs. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We're talking sports. We'll be right back. Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting. This is the Christmas Eve edition of The Stadium with Ted. Don't mind, Buchi is here as well. You know, shortly before I came back from the break, and Santa Claus called him and promised him 2 bitter cola, 1 garden egg, and 4 sticks of suya. And he's looking. If you see him, if you're watching us online on YouTube or on Facebook, you could see Buchi is looking a little. He was actually feeling down, but now he's looking a little brighter because
no, I mean when Santa came, he actually even sang me a song. He was like, on the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 bitter cola, 4 sticks of suya, 2 cola nut. Complete now, complete. I thought you were there.
1 garden egg. I no bono way, no they carry salt. No way bono no get salt, no problem. Don't mind us. We're just excited because it's holiday period and happy holidays out there to everybody who is there. Of course, don't mistake it. Tomorrow again, we're going to be here. Don't mistake it. We are here for you wherever you are. And if you're listening to us, if you're a member of this family, wherever you have traveled to, you can be a part of us talking sports. But let's get into the business of the day. A lot of things happening. Fallout from the Clasico, El Clasico. They fall out a lot of things. Talking points coming there. Wenger, Liverpool. Stories are emanating from there. Manchester United, once again, throwing away a victory that was snatched away from them at the dirt of the game. And this is the second time it's happening to a club who could say
it wasn't snatched. I think the first thing you said was right. It was thrown away because if you watch that match, Man U, they could have left that match with like 5 goals in the kitty. But then, imagine hitting the crossbar 3 times. I don't know what maybe the gods of football and Shongo and Orumila just were not on Man U's side, because at the 94th minute, that's when the goal came in. It was just crazy. 2-2.
We're going to be asking you questions in the course of the program. Let me just put them out there so you start thinking when you call, you could probably respond to 1 or 2 of them. First of all, what should clubs do to better the remaining part of their seasons as the January transfer window is about to open? There should be things that clubs should do. Maybe the clubs use support. What should they do? What are they supposed to do, say, make the season from January where they come now? Of course, as far as we know, from Tuesday the 26th, the leagues across the world resume. Some resume a lot later. But what should the clubs do? What do you make your club do? As it don't day now, we're on a day for even Man City. Shall get something where they're supposed to do. Make the whole game change for them. No lead is comfortable until when it gets to match and you are very sure that yes, you have gotten a lot of points. What should the clubs do to make sure that the remaining part of the season is good enough for them? What should individual players do to help their countries at Russia 2018, starting from their performances at their clubs? And if they are not playing like Ahmed Musa, Kelechi Iheanacho, and the other players who are benchmarks in their clubs, what should the players do to ensure that they participate in the World Cup coming up next year, starting from their performance at their club? What are your recommendations? You have no idea how far this program can go because we are listened to and heard and viewed worldwide. We are not bragging about it, we're saying it as a fact. So your recommendation here might just get to a player somewhere you don't know. All right. So what were the most 2 horrible transfers of this season? 2 horrible transfers of this season. Don't tell me about Rodiger because, of course, as far as I know, Chelsea threw away their money. Or is it Bakayoko? All that. Okay, Buchi, first of all, let's get to what's happening in other sports. Eddie Hearn is coming out to say in boxing that a rematch between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury might not be makeable. His reason is that as far as Eddie Hearn is concerned, the match can only take place if he is able to make it, and he wants to stage that fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And he came out to say, I have been talking to Fury about promoting him. The only way he's going to get the Joshua fight is with us, and that us is the team, the Eddie Hearn team. That is the new Don King of boxing in Europe.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to earn at. So I've been talking to Fury about a plan to lead to the Joshua fight. But I said to him, we can't talk about the Joshua fight now. You can't expect to have a conversation. You haven't even boxed for 2 years. You might come back and stink the place out and have small value in a fight. So Eddie Hearn still went and said, he came back and said to me, I'll make it really easy for you, straight and simple. I'll give you a deal. You accept it right away. I want 60-40. All the champions benefits. I want to walk second. Is my name on the poster. I get the choice of changing rooms. That's Tyson Fury talking. The British Boxing Board of Control has actually given him his license back. But then, of course, whether it's the boxing control, the drug ban agency is still hanging on to see that he's clean enough to box. But here is what Tyson Fury and Eddie Hearn are now saying. AJ is quiet, a lot more quiet, and this is coming out. And this is just what we've been talking about on this program. What is the right fight for Anthony Joshua? Should you stick to this, funny enough, hidden promo about Tyson Fury trying to get back in boxing? Have we not had enough talk so far, Bushi? It appears to me.
Well, to be honest, like I've always said, this is just, I think it's all noise. And Tyson Fury has been making a lot of noise. And finally he's gotten his license back. But I think on this one, I have to go with Eddie Hearn. I mean, putting out, promoting a fight for Tyson Fury right now against the likes of AJ would not just be detrimental to AJ's career, would also be detrimental to the livelihood of Eddie Hearn. I mean, this is right now for the last
promoter,
2 years.
He can't be promoting not just anyone, but it has to be somebody of repute.
Exactly.
I mean, you have a heavyweight in your management team.
Yes.
Should you take him higher? But then does AJ have enough people within that weight category?
No, that's why Vegas is on the table. That's why Joseph Parker's on the table. That's why Deontay Wilder's on the table. I mean, right now we're looking for the big names, and AJ is looking to step up. I mean, a lot of people, he's received a lot of criticism, especially the last fight with Carlos Takam, because Takam only had 12 days, and he's still trying to prove himself.
Yes.
Now, enter Tyson Fury, who is right now at the bottom of the barrel. The only benefit that Tyson Fury will get, any kind of fight he gets right now with anyone, is just for him going up. He'd win or lose, he benefits from it one way or another. Right now, I think I have to agree with Eddie Hearn. As from a business standpoint, I mean, you're taking a big risk.
So this is actually more from advantage of Tyson Fury than anyone else. He's getting back, and I'm wondering, he's getting back from a two year ban since 2015, and he's heading straight for the heavyweight.
He is a heavyweight. That's his weight class.
No, he wants
a title fight.
But should he not have? He has no bet to relinquish because he has relinquished his best because of.
But that's the point. That's the point.
Should he not get lower categories to fight first of all?
No.
Get himself in shape and then arrange his fight. He has not had any fight, not a single fight.
No, I understand that, but let me explain something. In that category, that heavyweight division, now that's his weight class. It's based on his weight.
Is he still there?
No, he's still even if he hasn't boxed for 12 years and he weighs in within the parameters of that, he's classified in that heavyweight division. He can't box in the welterweight, or those are lower weight classes. That's him cutting weight, and cutting weight is something that's frowned upon in boxing. Now that's his class. My point is this: he needs to establish a reputation. There are other contenders and competitors on the line with higher reputations and higher right now than he does. He comes with a lot of controversy and he comes with a lot of media buzz. But anybody boxing him right now, I don't think you really stand to gain anything of repute right now. He needs to be, the only way, it's not about talking. It's about going out there and building back your reputation with your fists, with your boxing. That's what he should be doing. Right now, if I was Tyson Fury, I think in the words of Lennox Lewis, you either put up or shut up. Right now, shut up. Focus on getting yourself back into shape. Focus on building back your career. Focus on building back what you were, not who you, face the reality right now. You just came back from a 2-year ban. You've not even cut weight. You're not back in shape. You have not boxed in 2 years. You can't expect to go and fight AJ right there. It doesn't work like that. Get in line, get in the back of the line, put in the work, get yourself into shape. Have two, at least for me, in my opinion, I wouldn't even be looking at AJ until maybe even next year. Have like 2 or 3 good boxing bouts this year, build up that reputation, and then you gives yourself that credibility to stand in the ring with the current champion, whether it be AJ down the line or anyone else.
Even before we open the phone lines, we have someone here on the line. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stadium.
Welcome. My name is Abdul.
Okay, Abdul, welcome to the stadium.
I want to ask, there's a problem. I'm in Kaduna, and yesterday I tuned to your radio, and today it came and I couldn't.
Oh, today you can't tune to our radio in Kaduna?
Yes.
What frequency is that?
It was it was 101.
101.1. Yes, 101.1. Yes, Abdul, we are live on air. You cannot hear us in Kaduna?
Yes.
Okay, we'll tell our technical department to look into that immediately, okay?
Okay.
Okay, keep listening. They will find a way to work on that so that you can hear us in Kaduna. Thank you, Abdul, for making that observation.
Okay.
Yes, I appreciate it. Yes, that's our big listener from there, Abdul from Kaduna, letting us that signals are a little bit low, and probably the weather, the wind, and everything probably has affected the quality of our broadcast there in Kaduna, because we'll find a way to do something about it. All right, that's Eddie Hearn's story there. Buchi, your friend, Vince McMahon, has sold 75 million euros worth of stock to relaunch the controversial American football project XFL that actually he started in 2001. It was a failure after a season, and he wants to go back into it. I watch Vince on the ring size of wrestling, and he's such an amazing promoter. He's such an amazing. Of course, he comes with a lot of synergy and attracts attention to himself sometimes a lot more than the wrestlers, even a lot more than his own son, who is a wrestler. He's been trying to diversify, even at his age, at the age of 73. He sold his stock in WWE, which is worth about $334 million.
Yes.
To move into a project he's actually personally initiating, XFL, to start that. I thought that the money he made from using his name and whatever should have been reinvested in wrestling, to redefine wrestling and to make that. But he's taking the money he made from this sport to move away from it to start something else. Like he's trying to invent a new kind of sport, I would say, in a way. So it's like taking money from, okay, let me not quote Asemoga, but let me quote Asemoga in a way, money from petrol and bringing it to football. When guys having a punt on Man City, he said that, like, no, McMahon is trying to do this again.
No, I mean,
he lost attention.
The thing is, wrestling right now, pro wrestling is a billion-dollar industry, billions of dollars. And Vince McMahon is one of the people that actually kind of propelled it. Yeah. That's professional wrestling, changing it from WWF to WWE and propelling it to what it is.
Of course,
today.
You can't take that away from him.
You can't take it away. It's a legacy. Yeah. It is a family legacy. I mean, like you said, his son is I think the COO of SmackDown Live. His daughter is the COO of WWE.
It's like a family business.
It's a family business.
Yes.
And like I said, it's over $1 billion worth. This is something they make annually. This is it's sports entertainment. It's big and popular. Now, he being 73, he's taking his time and he's taking out his own money, and of course you can't take away his legacy, but this is his passion project. This XFL is actually his passion project, and he's looking towards investing in that and trying to make that work. Now, if it's his money, it's up to him to do what he wants.
What he wants to do with the money.
if he decides to make a swimming pool of said money and be swimming in it every day, it's his money. So I think
somebody wants to disagree with you here, but you hold your thoughts. Hello, good evening and welcome to the stadium. Hello, good evening. My name is Ted. This is the stadium.
What up, how you doing?
Very fine, sir. How you doing? What did happen?
Let's call you.
Hello? Bros, why you no load your airtime now? I know say get some networks with the dash airtime for this kind Christmas period. Try change your SIM, just dial this one no be said. Just dial 000 something. If you dash you some airtime so that you can call us back. We'd love to hear from you. By the way, you can join us right off. We're talking about a lot of things in sports. It's almost the end of the year. What has been your most memorable thing, most significant thing for you in sports this year? And what are the things that happen that you don't like? Things you love your clubs to change, things you love your country to change to in order to win in Russia. Of course, this program is not only open to Nigerians, because I'm aware that it's listened to across the globe. Inside Nigeria here on terrestrial radio, we have citizens of different countries here with us who are lovers of sports. Of course, we have Russians in Nigeria here who tune to Human Rights Radio to listen. What are your preparations to host us, Nigeria, when we come to Russia during the summer? We have countries that failed to qualify. Okay, our neighbors, Ghana and Cameroon, more than no vex anyway. Now us, we have a special. Maybe next World Cup will help you guys to qualify. When we have qualified already, then you come with us to the next World Cup and see what happens. So call us from anywhere you are and be a part of this conversation. It's Buchi and I in the studio. My name is Ted. We're just gisting about sports generally, things that happen. Some fans are angry they won't call. I don't want to call your names because there are some fans out there who actually made some bets and some promises about the results of the games that were supposed to take place this week, this very tight weekend. And the result turned out the other way around. I will remind you that you say this and it has come to pass and it's not in your favor. But let's listen to this caller if he has something different to say. Hello, good evening and welcome to the stadium.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my name is Ted. What is your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Glasgow. I'm calling from Chama.
Oh, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go to Man United.
Okay, Man United. Okay. The team that has been losing to surprising teams and drawing with teams I don't expect.
Sorry?
I said the team that has been losing and drawing unexpectedly all of a sudden. What are your thoughts on that?
It's very, very bad for Man United, but I think Mourinho should do better to get some new players during the transfer window.
Okay.
If not, they will carry the name. I always give them one big name. I want to give them the name again.
Somebody called yesterday on the program. I'm telling you that. But you what is that? I've forgotten the name. Somebody called yesterday on the program to try to.
Quarterback Cup. That is how they will escort the Premier League and they will still escort the Champions League. So Mourinho need to do better. Let him find new players, both players. All these small Pogba, all this one. They're just forming big boy inside field. They cannot play ball. They're supposed to play ball.
But Pogba is a big player. I will tell you, Pogba is a big player. And in his day, in terms of delivery.
Pogba is the kind of player that is playing just to make himself happy. You know, when we talk of big player, he's someone that want to make records.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
People like Ronaldo, all these people that want to make records, create history in football, but then they just play to make money, to just make themselves happy. That is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You understand? I will still go to Real Madrid, you know. Okay. For Real Madrid, I know, for yesterday to lose the game yesterday, it's a very big one for them to learn a good lesson inside the game.
But let's talk about Man U first of all. I would love to ask you some questions, and I'm sure Buchi wants to ask you some questions too. If you,
I'm listening to you.
Okay, if you are to make recommendations of players that you want Manchester United to sign in the January transfer window, be mindful of the fact that some players cannot leave their clubs. This is just a short transfer period or a loan period. Players that could come in the interim to help the club. Which players do you recommend? Don't think of Bell. Don't think of Griezmann because they will not leave those clubs until the summer. That's a fact. Yes, that's a fact. So which other players are you recommending?
I don't really know what to say, but Mourinho should just do better just for that.
Okay. Would you want to ask me a question?
No, I mean, yeah, my brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Yeah, the same thing. I was just about to, the same. Ted just kind of took the question out of my mind. But the same thing. Let's say now. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
All right, I'm going to speak slowly. So I'm actually going with what Ted said. And I agree. I wanted to ask you the same thing. Like, who would you buy? But then let me twist that. Of all, let's looking at Man U's roster now. The people on everybody there. Who would you sell? Who are the people you would sell for the team to actually move forward? Who do you think are the ones pulling the team back?
Yeah, he has actually dropped, but I'm sure you're hearing Man U's escorter. You say they're escorters, so we're
yeah. If they're escorters, let's know who are the people that they're escorting, and let's see who they should be escorted out.
You're still listening to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM Redefining Broadcasting. My name is Ted, and I'm here with Buchi. We're talking about a lot of things happen in the world of sports. We started from the game of boxing and we got into WWE. Of course, there are WWE fans out there and everything. What has been your experience? What have been your highlights of the year so far? We're trying to look at what has happened this year that made sports outstanding and spectacular. But then 2018, Buchi, is going to be one of the most sporting years of recent. Yes. A lot of competitions, a lot of things changing. The Formula One attempting to do some changes to start now and implement fully in 2021. Pyeongchang, the whole the Korean Peninsula crisis going on, conflict within countries, and yet the Olympics will go the Olympics will go on, the Winter Olympics will go on
yes.
there still with the highest security you can ever have at Olympics.
Yes.
Between 3 troublesome countries, just that angle there, and some countries that even don't have a stake in it, watching from the sky and everything. The doping issue that some countries have been disqualified to participate as countries, and then top athletes, gold medal winners, disqualified eventually because of doping. You're talking of the World Cup. Funny enough, also going to take place in Russia next year. 2018 is just amazing. And Russia is in the story for the good reasons and the wrong reasons.
Yes, of course.
In Olympics, they have been cut out completely not to participate as a country.
And
in football, they are hosting the World Cup, and we don't know what will be the fallout of the World Cup when we're about to go to Qatar, 2022. If they say Russia hosted and won the World Cup, and they discover that Ongulunguluchenko, Mpalanjalachenko, Bilibilichenko were actually on some kind of
Menavatovic.
well, actually on some kind of substances, and they won the World Cup, and it was actually unfair. I'm a little bit. Let me admit it. I'm a little bit scared for the country itself, and it's a country that is very determined and hard on when it comes to focusing on what they want to do and what they want to deliver. But this is a very big slap in the face of an entire nation that your government organized a doping. And not a doping agency, not an anti-doping agency, but a wuru way of escaping doping. I don't know how to put it in English. If somebody knows English, borrow me. Let me say it. Wuru way of escaping doping to present your athletes there as the best around the world and win medals for your country, and that is taking place. I bet you, if that happened to a country like Nigeria, we'll be banned from everything sports. If it just happens in, let's say, wrestling, we'll be banned from every other sport for the next.
Even you're even taking it too far. If it was us that did the whole thing. No, the thing is, even if it was just a sniff, maybe just a sniff, one athlete just happened to accidentally slip and it was found on his shoe, not on his person, we'd be crucified at these kind of events. So, to have this kind of thing going on, and then also let's not forget about let's also not forget about this case with Justin Gatlin in the U.S. And
Gatlin, sorry, we have a caller here. Let's listen to him before we come back to you. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stadium.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ted. What is your name and where are you calling from?
All right, my name is Jacob. I'm calling from Pape.
Jacob from Pape. Go ahead, and you have the floor. Speak.
Yeah, I want to say something about the Russia 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, this issue of World Cup. I'm in Nigeria, but let me just say, Nigeria, we're just going there to support and watch what people.
Jacob, how could you just conclude like that? Why?
Because if I may say, in some other clubs, we have, how would I put it? We have world-class players that are going to play the game, of which we don't have them in Nigeria here.
What do you mean by world-class? Like what? Playing in which club and coming from
what makes them world-class?
I don't know. I don't understand your point.
When I talk of world-class, you know what I mean about a world-class player is a player that can deliver in both in and country, and his houses can be.
But our players delivered by being the first to qualify from Africa.
Are they not delivering their club?
You mentioned Nigeria as a world-class player, if I may ask.
No,
Alex Iwobi is not a world-class player.
If you define what is world-class for you, then I will be able to mention 1 or 2 names for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who and who can function very well? Can Moses houses distract Chelsea?
Oh, you're talking of a player whose absence can distract his club or his country. What do you mean?
Yes.
His
That's
club.
what I'm talking about.
Moses' absence actually cost Chelsea almost 12 to 13 points. Are you aware of that?
Not really. When Moses was on injury, Chelsea were still winning that game.
No, bro. That was the most horrible period Chelsea had, and he's still trying to recover, and it's still a problem for him. If you have been following Chelsea as I have followed the matches of the clubs in Europe where our players are playing, you will know that his absence was a major problem for Chelsea. Hello, Jacob.
Interesting.
Jacob has dropped. Yeah, he's bringing in another dimension there of world-class players. I don't believe in world-class.
I don't believe in world-class.
Iceland has qualified to play in the World Cup, and they are in our group. You can mention, let me just say, about 3 to 4 players that we have been watching on TV that are actually playing leagues that are marketable that people can watch. Other
But
than
then,
that,
is it an individual player that makes the team, or is it the team that
it's a
makes
team
you?
that is going
It's
to
a
the
team
World
effort.
Cup.
I mean, that's the way I see it. That's the way I've always seen it. And for the fact that we qualified for the World Cup, first in Africa, although we had that one scare in our group,
It doesn't even matter what the way we are rated.
It doesn't matter what
No,
we're
but
rated.
I do understand Jacob's point, right? Jacob is coming from the fact that he's looking at the quality of our players. And I think what he intended saying, rather, I'm not changing your words, Jacob, if you're still listening. He's trying to compare the current Super Eagles to the Super Eagles that we had before that went to World Cups. Then we had players that were regular starters. We have players now that are actually starters in their leagues, but they are not the leagues that are marketable and televised here that we watch. Unless you actually go after these players online and find out their level of commitment to their teams and
The things they're doing.
the things they're doing, you will never know. So you can actually sit back home here and watch the EPL and watch the Liga, probably League On and Bundesliga, maybe Eredivisie, and what? Probably the Turkish league. We hardly get access to the Chinese league because internet and everything there is highly regulated. You watch the Chinese league through very it's rudimentary process to get to watch the Chinese league unless you got to burn your data through YouTube to watch their highlights. So we don't even have that platform to see what our players are doing in the Chinese league. We only have it reported most times. Most times when the league's playing, some of the leagues are playing, we're deeply asleep, snoring, waiting to wake up and all that. But Jacob, I understand your point. You're talking about world-class players. I would say Nigeria has world-class players. If you ask me my definition of a world-class player, I will give you that. We'll come back from this break because there's a lot to talk about on this program today. And I hope Jacob calls back to give me his definition of world-class player, and I will give you my own from my own.
Ted, why are you taking this thing personally?
I am not taking it personally. No. Jacob put a question. Jacob put a question to me. But Jacob put a question to me. He said, "Give me a definition of a world-class player, and tell me one Super Eagles player that is a world-class player."
Yes.
On this platform, I stand for appreciating or denouncing what is good and what is bad. If you do well, I'll tell you this was amazing, this was excellent. But the moment you don't do well, and I know, not just me, it's a policy of my station, Human Rights Radio. We promote what is good. We discourage what is bad. We don't condemn. We discourage and try to lead you to the right light so you can actually be better. And that's what they're doing on the stadium this evening on the eve of Christmas. Don't take it personal. We're just talking sports. It's the eve of Christmas. It's holidays. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, it's a rest time. Apart from us, everybody else is resting. On Human Rights Radio, we're not taking a break. We'll be with you all through this evening, tomorrow, and next. Stay with us. We're here. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. fans or the board. Should it be Antonio Conte? Should it be Shandai? Should it be David Moyes? But I think that points to a man who has been there since 1996, won just a title. And after him, a lot of teams and managers, both within and outside, came into England to win the titles. Who should be apologizing to? The supporters and the board of this amazing, amazing team. I will say Arsenal fans have been the most enduring and the most patient when it comes to persevering what is going on in the club. They go down with the club. Juventus did it. They went down together. They came back up. And Arsenal has not gone down. They're still there, but they're not where they want to be. Should Arsene Wenger be apologizing like the lyrics of the song we just listened to? Should he be honorable enough to take a bow like some managers do in some places, or there is no cause for alarm? Buchi, what do you think? I am saying this because I'm concerned. That is a club that our legendary elder brother, Kanu Nwankwo, made his massive name when he came from Italy back in there and became a legend. That's a club that had the invincible run that no club has done. Manchester City is trying to meet that record if they can anyway. But as it stands presently, Arsenal is not the Arsenal we used to know before.
I think it's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty amazing that, I mean, think about this. Let's try and put this into context. Yes. Now, he's been there since 96. And as famous as Arsenal, the club, is, I think it's really surprising, like you're saying. I don't know if this is fact. I'm assuming this is fact that Arsenal has actually only won the Premier League once in his entire 21 years at Arsenal. 98. Are you serious? Massive. As in, I'm sitting here with my mind blown because
he didn't win again 2001, 2002. But
okay,
what he had in that season when he came in,
yeah,
outside that was amazing.
Okay, so how many times has Arsenal actually taken the league? Are we saying it's only 2 times in his 20?
Arsene Wenger's career,
yes,
the records 1997-1998 season and the 2001 and 2002 season.
That's twice. Okay, he's won a few community shields. He's won FA, yeah, but he's never won UEFA.
Those are the consolation.
The consolation, yes, but he's never won UEFA. That's
always qualified for the Champions League.
Always qualifying. So it baffles me in the sense that coaches who have been with their teams for a lot less, shorter period of time, have accomplished more in that time.
Actually, you have coaches who just get into England, play a season, win, and then two seasons after they are fired or they leave because they can't master the record and they disappear.
I think, like you said, this also speaks to the loyalty of the fans and the loyalty of the management. I think I will always say this. My father calls Arsenal. I mean, don't get me wrong. My father is a diehard Arsenal fan, yes, but he says Arsene Wenger
he's also an honest
economist. He's an economist. The man is an economist. He knows how to do enough to get by. He knows how to do enough to just carry the team across.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. I mean, he knows how to do enough to keep management happy, keep them in the top 4, maybe win the league, take them a shield there, make that franchise money, build up, and then spend as little money as possible, especially, build them up from the youth, grab that 18-year-old,
yes,
build him up, sell him off, make like 3 times the profit.
Yes.
The man is an economist, and I think that's why he has lasted this long.
Because he's making money for the club.
He's making money for this team. I mean, if we're going to go on just performance or if we're going to go on trophies alone,
yes,
a lot of coaches have been fired for a lot less.
Even for winning the Champions League and the local league.
Mm-hmm.
Rafa Benitez has lost his job at Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Many other managers have lost their jobs in clubs that they won the league that same season, they win that same year, and the next season you don't find them again.
Mm-hmm.
It is happening everywhere where boss don't take any nonsense. They feel that, okay, this is the philosophy of the club, this is where we are, and even if you win, don't take us down, we should remain here. If Real Madrid were the Real Madrid of before, by now Zinedine Zidane would be fired. If Roman Abramovich was thinking the way he was thinking when he first moved into England with a lot of, according to Arsene Wenger, oil money and all that, Russian money, by now Antonio Conte would be gone. Think back about how some coaches at Chelsea were fired. Of course, I'm not saying it's fine.
Look at Swansea. They've changed coaches. 6 coaches in 2 years.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I'm trying. I mean, I think that theory just holds true. Arsene Wenger is a brilliant economist. He knows how to do enough to get by and keep the team afloat. Keep them competitive, keep them up in that big four, or now it's it used to be the big four, now it's just the big six. Keep them up there, keep them up there, make that money, make that profit. Management is happy, profits are, the coffers are filled up. Essentially, that's what it is.
Yes. Basically, it has just been like a two-way race, I would say, since it has been a two-way, but along the line, it gets mixed up. Let me tell you that in 1996 to 1997, Alex Ferguson won. He was actually defending from 95 to 96, but I'm concerned about the era that Arsene Wenger stepped in. 96, 97, Ferguson won. 97 to 98, Arsene Wenger won with Arsenal. 98, 99, Fergie won with Manchester United and retained it in 2000, 99 to 2000 and 2000 actually. He retained it again 2000 to 2001 season. And then Arsene Wenger came back to snatch it 2001 to 2002. So it was a two-way race between these people. Fergie collected it back again 2002, 2003. Then Arsene Wenger was able to get it back again 2003 to 2004. Then came Jose Mourinho, 2004, 2005, and defended it 2005, 2006.
Yes.
That was the second outsider apart from Fergie. Fergie got it back again the next 2 seasons. In fact, the third season again up to 2009 he did, until Carlo Ancelotti came in for Chelsea in 2009, 2010, and won it again. Fergie got it back again 2010, 2011. Then Roberto Mancini came in with Man City when the money started coming.
Yes, when the money poured in.
Money poured in, and then he won it 2011, 2012. Fergie got it back. His last before he left the stage, the big stage, 2012, 2013. Pellegrini with Man City again got it back 2013, 2014. 2014, 2015, Mourinho, his second stint at Chelsea, got it back. Claudio Ranieri, the Italian, got it back for Leicester City. And then Antonio Conte, another Italian, won it again. The last I'm trying to get, seriously, no English, I would say no English manager. Another talking point, Buchida. No English manager since Kenny Dalglish in 1994 to 1995 with Blackburn Rovers has actually won the
Claimed
EPL.
the EPL.
It has been outside
Foreigners. Let's use the term foreigners.
and all that. And let's not deviate from what we're looking at. It's been foreign coaches. And let me just say, England has not produced a big coach enough to actually end the EPL with all those teams. Most times they end up as coaches, not first team managers, but coaches or assistants to most of these people. Arsenal, what should Arsene Wenger do? I'm looking at him as a coach now, not the club itself. Arsenal has endured. Wenger has sold an amazing number of players at outrageous amounts. We're buying them as cheap as anything.
That's the thing.
And should he go back to what he did when he first came in? Using young players and having a mix of the old. He's trying to do that now, but it's not working for him.
He hasn't found that right formula yet, that right mix yet. It's still a little touch and go at this point. But I mean, when is it possible? When you hear, there's a term that's the saying that goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, the EPL is evolving, the EPL is changing, and if you cannot get with the program and change with it, then you become obsolete. There's only so far you can go with just being competitive. What about winning? People want, people are out for a win. People are out for those trophies, those accolades. So are the players too. Hey, these are the things that live beyond you. These are the things that carry your name. Now, there's no point being in a league where you're making that money, you've done all these things, but then there's no backing in your trophy cabinet to back. So what's the point? At some point, when does being financially solvent go, take you to where you need to go? I think at this point in time, or at this junction, maybe perhaps a change.
Yes.
Maybe a change. A change might be what this team needs. That to revitalize this team, to rejig it, to get it back into the groove.
Who should Wenger get in like now? Okay, so over the season he got Lacazette. He has Giroud there, who has been a super sub. All of a sudden, he has been a full-time player. He's been bringing him to start games, which he doesn't have that stamina naturally. He doesn't have that energy to endure or to. It's like somebody like Morata, who doesn't last. So they don't have that energy of Lukaku, who can play 100 minutes or how many minutes? Extra.
Lukaku's like a rugby player. He's a bulldog. He's just there on the field.
So now Wenger is doing that. I can understand the spate of injuries Arsenal has faced, but it also boils down to the size of your squad and using a lot of players. Wenger used to rotate. I think Mourinho came to spoil everything in England when he started. Yes. When he came and started fielding senior players, first team to play the FA Cup and any competition at all is the same team. You must see Terry, you must see Lampard, you must see Drogba. It doesn't matter whether it's FA Cup, you're playing against Doncaster United or Derby County, you see the same players play.
He goes in full guns blazing, yes.
That's the thing. And Wenger just thought that, okay, this guy brought this style, I'm going to do it. And he started feeding players who he never knew that didn't have that longevity. And then injuries started coming in, which is still affecting him now. When he plays a lower kind of players that he doesn't even have a very heavy bench anywhere, I would say, injuries setting. Or he gets a defeat. When he plays the big players in 3, 4, 5 consecutive games, you see fatigue. They had a very good comeback against Liverpool. Yes, they did.
But
ended out. But the performance generally, that is not the Arsenal we have known over the years.
No.
If you are asking Arsene Wenger to rejig, to get 1 or 2 or 3 players.
No, I'm not even asking him to rejig. I'm asking management to rejig Wenger. At some point,
or should the management themselves think of throwing in the towel and saying, okay,
you know what, Wenger, you've had a good run. We believe in you. You've done so well for us. In fact, you're a legend. You'll go down in history of the club. But the club needs to grow forward. We need to move forward as a club. We need new, fresh ideas. We need new blood to inject, a new mind to, kind of like just. Sort of like, I mean, look, let me use F1. Let me use F1.
Yes.
I mean, for many, many years, F1 was just this exclusive club. And now with Liberty Media actually coming in, F1 could actually become relevant worldwide. It could become one of those sports that people now care about, because before it just used to be that exclusive club. A certain group of people, certain teams, certain number. Now you're opening up the playing field. Open it up to more people. It attracts more of an audience. This is what I think Arsenal need in their squad, in their team. They need that someone to come in and rejig this team, revitalize this team, fresh blood, new ideas, to kind of just gear them towards winning ways again. Don't get me wrong, like I said, credit to Arsene Wenger. Maybe even Arsene Wenger himself needs to check maybe a new team. Maybe to go back to Ligue 1 and go back to Ligue 1 and give PSG a run for their money. With
I guess it's time for him to start thinking of one team back in France to go stay there and try to mentor them and all that. Of course, take nothing away from the old man. He has been an amazing coach.
Kudos to him.
But I think it's time for David Beckham, not Beckham, or
Dennis
Beckham rather, or Thierry Henry to think of coming back to the Gunners to make Arsenal what it used to be in their era.
In what capacity?
Whittle or Pires. So yes, as assistant managers, some of them have coaching licenses, even though they have gone much more into marketing now than facing football as it should be.
Ted, you and I both agree. You would be the first one to say this with me. It's not every player that makes a good coach.
Ryan Giggs, maybe.
Ryan Giggs. I mean, I think he's still trying to find his feet in that regard. But it's very few players that make that transition. I mean, who make that transition to become phenomenal coaches. And I think we can only name a few off the top of our heads. We can even count them on our fingers. Yeah. Only very few players make that transition into becoming very, very good coaches. I don't know why it's like that, but I think it's just the nature of it. Maybe a player's mind and a manager's mind, the way you see the game and able to anticipate movement and things like that. It depends. But let's see what happens. But like you said,
yes,
I think there's some sort of change. There has to be some sort of change.
I'm looking at Arsenal's next fixtures, Pucci, and the next few fixtures, and it doesn't look pleasant. Of course, they're going away to Crystal Palace on Thursday. That's on the 28th. There will be away again to West Brom Albion. That's still in the league. That's on the 31st. Then in Premier League, funny enough, in the Premier League, on the 3rd of January, they'll be hosting Chelsea. The next game will be in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest. They will be away. Then the next game, the Carabao Cup, on the 10th of January, they will be away to Chelsea. So playing Chelsea, and then in between is Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup.
Yes.
They will be away to AFC Bournemouth. They'll be at home to Crystal Palace again in the Premier League, and they will be at home in the Carabao Cup to Chelsea. That's the return leg of that. And then they'll be playing Swansea, the last game in January on the 30th, away. And these are not very pleasant fixtures based on Arsenal's current form. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stadium. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, my name is
Hello?
Ted. This is the stadium. Can you hear me? Okay, that's an Arsenal fan who is not happy with what I'm saying, but I'm looking at those fixtures, and those are tight fixtures. So you have Chelsea like how many times? A lot, like 3-4 times playing Chelsea, 3 times actually playing Chelsea, and then playing teams that are actually battling to get out of relegation.
Yes.
This is before the transfer window closes.
And we all know, we all know Arsenal's sort of aversion towards bringing in new players or people on loan.
Yes,
Most likely,
they have to stay and
season in,
gel
season
and
out.
blend. They take a lot of that time.
Exactly, and he's a bit adverse to going out. I mean, this is many teams and many coaches and many managers have been waiting for this moment. January window, let's go out there and buy.
7 heavy matches in January alone. 7 heavy games.
I think
It's
this
an
is
light
the
games
time
in
to.
three competitions. The Carabao, they are still in the Carabao Cup, they are still in the FA Cup, and in the EPL, with 3 heavy games against heavyweights. When it comes to the FA Cup, of course, you don't underrate any team, even if they come from
not possible.
from Conference 2 or Conference 3 or whatever the lower league they're coming from is that. But anyway, this is still Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM redefining broadcasting. My name is Ted, and I'm here with Buchi, the one and only. We're talking sports. If you want to join the conversation, call us on 081 89 99 1011. We're talking sports only and nothing else. Just sports only and nothing else. Buchi, Chelsea. We're looking at clubs. Chelsea, of course, your beloved Chelsea, but I want you to first of all promise and swear. Raise up your right hand. Say I, Buchi, the Chelsea fan,
Buchi, the Chelsea fan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will analyze this team
that I will analyze this team
in all honesty and truth.
in all honesty and truth.
I don't go carry bias join them.
I know we'll carry bias, Jonah.
No, you laughed. The thing has been he's condemned. He's condemned. You laughed along the line. You are sorry and oath. Chelsea fans out there, call me and let me know. But we should just look at Chelsea. I mean, there have been issues. Without Morata, of course, Basua is on his way, actually, obviously on his way out of the club, either on a loan or something.
On a loan, I think it's been
And
agreed.
Chelsea is not Chelsea like Real Madrid, like Barcelona. Let me say it the way. Like Bayern Munich. Forget that they are winning. They are not the only team performing now at the peak they started, even though they have dropped like 20% is Manchester City. Most teams have dropped. Chelsea has dropped. Struggling, defending champions, struggling on the table in England. Real Madrid, defending champions, struggling on the table in England. The same thing. Bayern Munich, there but not there.
There but not there. I think that
And
Juve
and all
too.
that. Juventus, top with that as well, on top of the table, not there. Let's start from Chelsea. What should Chelsea do differently and what is wrong? All right. Antonio Conte previously had told us that, has said it in one of his conferences, using the English that he pretends he doesn't know how to speak, even though he learned it through a crash course. Within 4 weeks, he started giving press conferences in English. He said Chelsea might not be his last sport, might not stay there that long. Signs are on the wall. The handwriting is on the wall that he might not renew his contract to continue next season. The contract is not next season. It's not ending next season. He still has, I think he has 2 years still.
he has
on his
about 2
contract.
years on his contract. Yes.
But next season, of course, as a coach, he could call it quits if he wants to, or have a mutual agreement with the club to leave. And Roman Abramovich, after investing all that, if the results are not coming his way again, he leaves you to go. He lets you go, no matter how much he's going to pay you. But Chelsea, as it is presently, they don't have the color of champions.
Yes.
What exactly is wrong at Chelsea, and what should be? They let Diego Costa go. They brought in Morata, Spanish-based players.
Yes.
One for the other. Morata was out of the frame and the picture of Real Madrid. He, even if he was still at Madrid, he was going to keep staying on the bench. He arrived there with injuries and is not very fit. They signed Danny Drinkwater to come in to rejig that midfield, to partner with N'Golo Kante to see if they could recreate what they created at Leicester City that made them win the trophy. They signed him with injury and thought when he recovers, he will add a lot of power to that midfield, and yet we haven't seen anything that he has to offer there as
Not
it
yet,
stands.
no. Yeah, that's
N'Golo
true.
Kante returned from injury and suspensions, and is a shadow of himself that we knew, because dangerous midfielders and strikers walk past him easily and lay the balls. There's no game that Chelsea played that, of course, unless it's a goalless draw, most times they concede before they are able to outplay the other team and score. A lot of departments in Chelsea are having issues. The issue of David Luiz is there. Is he truly injured, or is it because of the issue he had with the coach that he's not being featured behind the doors? What should happen at Chelsea this January transfer window if they are to go anywhere in the Champions League, considering their opponents in the Champions League? If they are to go anywhere at all, what should Chelsea do?
I think I'm going to be as objective as I can, and like you said, it is true. Chelsea have they're a shadow of themselves from last season, and I think the writings on the wall is pretty obvious. Last season they didn't have so many competitions competing. They had just one primary focus, and they stuck to that focus and were able to pull off the result they did. It's sort of like the Leicester City effect. Leicester City didn't have any other engagements when they won the league 2 years ago. They didn't have any other engagements. They weren't playing in Europe. They weren't playing even in the just newly named Carabao Cup. They weren't there. They just focused on their EPL, and they played the game, every game. That's one game a week. Played it with every sense of the word of passion and commitment, and they won. Last season,
so only teams who are playing without commitment at home.
No. That's not my point. My point is this now. Antonio Conte, this is his first. I think for me, this is actually his first true test as a manager in a competitive league. Now, this is a man who was with Juventus for a very long time, in fact, Serie A used to be just a one-legged horse, in the sense that Juve had all the guns. It's sort of like what Bayern Munich was going through. Bayern Munich had all the guns, and they were firing on all cylinders. Juve had that same spark and that same magic. Even followed them into relegation, came back out, that same spark and magic. Now you're playing in the most competitive league in the world, where it's not a two-man show. It's not like La Liga, where it's either Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico that's just kind of coming up, and the rest.
To give you a fight, according to our regular caller, to escort you to win the league.
Escort you. Every single team in the EPL is just as tough and as competitive as the next one. So, there are no big or small teams. There's no, this is a guaranteed 3 points. Now it is coming. Then you have, not just that, you have the Carabao Cup. Not just that, you have the FA Cup itself. You have the Champions League. There are all these leagues now coming in. All these spinning plates.
Two games that you must win to continue the Champions League.
Exactly. So you have all these spinning plates now. I think it's just I think the weight of that pressure, that realization, is what is now kind of landing on Conte. It's like, wow, I did not. All of a sudden, boom. And then you have this December rush where you're playing about 3 games a week. 3 games in a week. Sometimes even 4 games. Some teams even have 4 games a week.
And I'm looking at
time to rest.
I'm looking at Chelsea's fixture, say, Bucci, is quite tight.
It's quite tight, yeah.
Day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, it's Christmas. Previously, we used to have Christmas games, but the EPL has decided in its wisdom to let that day be a day off, a day of rest. Today and tomorrow off. But on Tuesday, action resumes. Chelsea will be at home to Brighton and Hove Albion.
Yes.
On the 30th, they'll be at home to Stoke City in the Premier League. On the 3rd of January, they'll be at home to Arsenal. They'll be away to Arsenal in the Premier League.
Yes.
On the 6th of January, they'll be away to Norwich City in the FA Cup.
Yes.
On the 10th of January, they'll be at home to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. On the 13th of January, they'll be at home to Leicester City in the Premier League Cup. And the last game in January is not the last game. On the 20th, rather, Brighton and Hove Albion will host Chelsea again. And then the Carabao Cup again with Arsenal. They'll be away on the 24th.
Yes.
So the last game in January will be at home in the Premier League to AFC Bournemouth. And these are not easy games.
They're not.
Of course, they could say these are games that the teams that they have met before and defeated, but this is a tough time. You are talking about 7 solid games in the space of very few weeks.
Yes.
Very few weeks. Be mindful of the fact that Chelsea, unlike other teams, playing playing in these competitions are also looking at the fact that the Champions League will resume in February,
Yes.
and they have to make sure they economize how they use their
That,
players.
but that's the thing. You have to economize how you use your players, and you don't actually have enough players. I mean, it's not like Manchester City that their first 11 and their bench are all solid, solid players, all firing at all cylinders right now. You have up front, you're shaky. Your midfield is a bit shaky too. Even your defense now with David Luiz on the defense is also a bit shaky. Everything is a little. I think they need some sort of stability. They need something to stabilize them. If it's up front, you have a dependable person up front that can give you goals anytime, any day. And not just one person, you have a multiple. You can actually interchange them. I remember back in the good old days when Mourinho was actually coach. Mourinho doesn't center his team on one player.
Yes.
He never did. So
But,
it was
but,
more
he,
like...
but he divides a team according to the players he likes.
Exactly.
He divide the team
It's
into two.
it's a for me it's a very flawed system, but you have to recognize the method in that madness, in the sense that not one player is a god. I mean, the day that Cristiano Ronaldo is not feeling too well, or maybe he's just in a mood, you can actually feel it ripple out in the whole
entire squad.
Real Madrid team.
Yes.
The day that Messi does not feature for Barcelona just seem to be spinning on their heels, But then, for me, I always feel the ideal team should be there. It should be based on one individual. Yes, you can have somebody that kind of inspires, but it shouldn't be based on one individual. That's why I think for me, there has to be that restructuring. I think these players, there are a few old stars, there are a few old guns, a few healthy and favorable hands there, but then you need that cohesion. And you need proper backup.
Cohesion and proper backup, according to Bucci, is the answer to Chelsea's problem. And we'll wait and see what the board and Antonio Conte will attempt to do when the January transfer window reopens. We're talking about football here and clubs that are dear to our hearts as lovers of the game. We'll be right back after this very short break. We'll open the lines again for you to tell us what you think is wrong with your club and what is right. What are they smoking and drinking in those places? Should they change their attitude? Bucci thinks cohesion is the answer to that problem. Stay with us. We will be right back. Broadcasting. Don't be carried away by the quality and the sound of the kind of music we play here on the station, because apart from sports and other regular programs, we love music, and music is a language that binds and bonds everybody across the world, no matter where you come from. It could be Hispanic, it could be Igbo, it could be Hausa, you could be from the Zulu nation or any other place, African. Music is music. It makes a lot of meaning. Buchi, is that a lie?
Music is the bread and butter that makes the soul glide.
And it has been making sports be unified across the world. Don't get carried away. We're not talking about music. We're talking about sports. All right, before we went to the short break, we were talking about clubs, especially in Europe, what they have done wrong, what they should do, and how things should go. And now we're turning our searchlight to Manchester United. We spoke about Arsenal, Manchester City, no, not yet, and Chelsea especially. We're going to Man U first of all, and let's talk about the game that took place yesterday. First of all, Buchi, you are still fuming, even though you are not supporter of Manchester United. You're not happy that they disgraced football. With respect to Leicester City for fighting as hard as they did to earn the result that they got. But should Manchester United have thrown away such a vital lead?
They really should not have.
What did they do wrong? What went wrong?
I think if you watch the match, Smalling was actually injured. You could see it. He wasn't moving. I mean, they held the ball. They had done everything they could. They had locked Leicester out, and Smalling was injured. He played injury. He tried to play it off. Mourinho had used up all the changes. Couldn't change him. And then when that cross came in,
he was the only person who was there.
He was the only person who was there to attend to stop Maguire. But like I said, Smalling, I think he pulled a groin injury or something like that, and he just could not move to cover Maguire. And Maguire at the 94th minute, was able to just push the ball past De Gea, and the goal came through. It's unfortunate. The scoreline ended 2-2. This was a good opportunity to capitalize and actually keep that.
But if someone wants to disagree with you, let's hear from this caller. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stadium.
Good evening. This is Ezekiel calling.
Ezekiel, welcome. How's been your Sunday?
Well, bless God.
Okay. Are you still angry at any of the results of yesterday, or is okay?
No. I just got to say hi.
Okay, Ezekiel, we appreciate you. We're saying hello back to you.
Your name is Buchi, right?
Yes, Buchi is here. My name is Ted, and I'm here with Buchi. You're hearing the two voices.
Okay. Ted and Buchi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I want to get it clear. That is why I'm
Okay.
Don't be offended.
Oh, no. There's no offense here. We're a family. It's the same team. Buchi is actually saying hi to you.
Ezekiel, my brother.
Thank you, Buchi. Good evening.
Ezekiel, my brother. How you day?
Fine.
I beg. I call your house call.
Because that is not yesterday for us.
Ezekiel, I was waiting to hear that.
No, honestly, I don't want to call you, but I can't keep it. I just decided to call.
So, Ezekiel, we're talking about what Man U should do. What do you think that Ezekiel is off? I would have asked him what he thinks Man U should do, but he's talking about the result of yesterday. He's not really very happy.
It was a very painful result. It really was.
But like you were saying, Manchester United for the past few seasons have used, apart from Alex when Fergie left, these have been three managers, or three rather. There was Moyes came, things didn't work out. There was Louis van Gaal, and now Mourinho was coming. Of course, there was Giggs interim in between the line. Giggs had to hold sway, which you reported on the day you anchored the program. After you said he recommended for them to sign. They should have had Mbappe and Jesus Gabriel.
Yes.
They didn't listen to him, and these guys are now shining stars in their own clubs. They should have gotten them, but didn't. And now it seems Giggs is regretting why they didn't have these players, because if they were in, and I'm imagining if those two players were in that team, things would have been different. But it looks like Jose Mourinho wants to go into a panic buy to get some players ready-made, like he did at Chelsea when he was required to deliver and to give the results.
Of course.
So many players have been identified to come to Manchester United. Yesterday, one of the mistakes we noticed was the fact that there was the midfield yesterday. Leicester actually outplayed Manchester United.
They outplayed them. They outplayed Manchester United. I think when there was a change that they made that. You could actually just
see the immediate impact.
More, you could as in Leicester more. They made it. I'm trying to remember. It was on the other wing. Who was it there? Morgan was covering this player. They changed him. As soon as they changed him and brought the next man in, you could just see it was sort of like a no-brainer in the sense that Morgan just dominated and just sat on this player, and he could not move. He could not move forward. He could not move back. And for me, to be honest, like you said, it's going to be a panic buy.
Yes.
Who could they buy right now? Who could they buy?
A lot of players actually have been linked. Gary Bale returning to England rather than going to Tottenham.
Griezmann is being linked.
Antonio Griezmann. There were talks about Mbappe. Actually, they were in there.
Yes,
of course, there's this 90 million bid for Eden Hazard, which is in the talks, and David Luiz crossing over to Manchester United.
That's true. That's true.
Nobody has officially come from Manchester United to say it. We could think it's hype from the media for and on behalf of these big players to have a higher market value. By the time you say Manchester United want to sign a player, of course, other teams will jump in and they'll start pricing from 50 million above if your worth is even 24 million or that. But then, I'm really honestly looking at which player do they really need. You have a Pogba that was bought for almost 10 times what an average civil servant in Nigeria, unless you're a politician, you can't earn that money in 10 years. What they could earn. And he's there, he is not delivering. Of course, he was injured, he was suspended, yes, but he's back and he's not delivering. He was signed for the name, for the hype. The hype is over, the name is over. The same way Mario Balotelli came into England and didn't deliver based on the hype and everything that he got from the media. And these guys are not delivering. Won't you go the way of some coaches by really going down low? That's why at the end of it all, I always go back to say, even though as a Wenger is an economist, he's wise when he goes to the market.
Yes.
He identifies big players, you buy them, he goes to the ones that he can afford. Who should Manchester United actually sign? But there's a caller here on the line who has an answer to that problem. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stadium.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is Ezekiel calling back.
Okay.
I run out of credit.
Okay,
You see,
Ezekiel.
Madrid want to offload Gary Bale for Man United.
Yes.
Injury player for that matter. No. I beg. I'm pleading with you people to speak to Mourinho.
Okay.
This is a cry from wilderness. No. That's all
right. Okay. All right, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, thank you so much. God bless you.
Ezekiel,
that's a passionate fan. It just no. Injury player, no.
No, but he's just really being honest.
But he's being honest. I mean, for me, I'm just wondering what team would I mean, if I were Gareth Bale right now, I think I would just, I know he wants to remain competitive. I know he's a good player. But I think maybe it's time, since you're injury prone and you don't have that longevity, why not go to somewhere where you're going to make some good money at least, and just make some good money and retire in peace. I'll just start looking at towards the UAE or Chinese money and just go over that way. I mean, coming to England where it's even more competitive and you have the likes of how would he even fit in? I'm even looking at that Man U squad right now. Who is he going to bench? Is he going to bench who's he going to bench right now? I can't really think of it. But going by what you said, I think Manchester United, yes, they are known over the years, they've been known to be that big club to spend big and get what they want. But I think, like we said, change is in the air, and maybe they say when all else fails, try fresh tactics. It's time for fresh tactics. Instead of spending 80 million, 82 million on buying one person, why not take that 80 million and go and buy like 3 or 4 unknowns that are actually doing well, who are hungry, who are hungry and want to perform. You put them on that, you put them on, it's sort of like you bring them in, they're hungry, they want to perform, they'll give their best, they'll give their all, and you spend a fraction of that money. Split that money. You bring in the big names, and this is the same thing, just like we were saying just when we were on off air. Angel Di Maria. Where is he now? I remember that whole hype. He went over to PSG. And, went over to PSG.
It's not as we expected.
Exactly. Remember the whole hype, and that's the same whole hype that happened with Pogba. And I said the same thing. This is the same mistake. You're going to spend what? Record signing of 82 or 84 million.
Yes.
Now we're going to do another record signing of 90 million. Let's say now they spend the records 90 million signing of Edwin Hazard. Let's say that works out.
If it works out, yes. If it clicks as it's thought. But whereby it looks like Manchester United will just wait and see what Jose Mourinho has in his drafts and his locker to do in January, because it's also another team that really needs immediate intervention. And it appears generally we're going to continue this X-ray of teams across Europe from tomorrow's program. But it looks like most teams that we have been passionately following are actually dipping in form.
Yes.
Not dripping, rather dipping in form.
Dipping.
In form. It looks like both Barcelona and Real Madrid dipping in form, because those teams have actually relied so much on key players rather than cohesive and teamwork.
That's true.
And it's becoming a problem for
It's
some
becoming a
teams.
problem when you have Cristiano Ronaldo talking about he doesn't want to train with the
rest of the
with
squad.
the rest of the squad.
And Neymar goes to
Neymar
PSG
is telling,
asking for that.
he's
And
asking-
Barcelona is providing such services for Messi.
For Messi.
Training alone.
Training,
Suarez
yeah.
training alone from the rest of the team. I mean, the team, what do we
Now,
call it?
what's the point? Then it's not team is not spelled with
in
I.
your house, just
Exactly.
your house to the stadium and get to the dressing room where you just get on the pitch. What's the essence of a coach?
Then what's the point? Why not just play a one-man game?
Okay,
you know,
you can even train online and send
Maybe
your videos to your
you have
teammates.
a Messi versus Atletico Madrid, and then maybe Barcelona will go and play another team. If you're going to be training on your own, why are you in a team sport then?
That's Buchi getting hot there, but this is sports. This is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. We talk sports here. We don't report sports. We discuss it. We make it simple and lively. And thanks to everybody who called into the show this evening to give their own opinion about their clubs. Very honest opinions. I must say we heard that, and it's amazing. It's amazing to have you guys out there. Tomorrow is Christmas. Tonight is a vigil for most people, Christians especially. So be safe. If your children buy both knockouts, tell them not to blow, because we're in a situation where we don't need those alarms, security alarms and all those things. I mean, it's things blowing around the house. You don't know whether it's a gun or it's a knockout. Tell them to throw them away. If you're in a queue, waiting to get fuel and it's close by, yeah, just take some time and be patient and get it. If you don't get it and don't have to travel, please just go back home and stay at home and tune to Human Rights Radio, because we have a lot here that can keep you happy. You'll not regret not traveling. But before I just round up the program, Buchi has one more thing to say. Merry Christmas to you.
Yes. Today is, like we said, this is the night before Christmas, the 24th of December.
Yes.
And I want to wish, in fact, this Christmas period is a very special period for me. I have a lot of holidays and celebrations. I want to wish a very special wish to my sister, my senior sister.
Okay.
I know she's probably out there in Obodo Ibo,
Okay.
probably watching this.
She's watching us online and listening. Big
She's
sis.
a big fan. Big sis. Chinelo. Lots of love, lots of hugs, lots of cherishing. You're
From
my
us, not
sister.
only him,
From us,
from
from
the
me,
stadium.
and the stadium.
Queen Jen is there.
Big hug to you. I also want to give a big shout out to my very good friend, a personal friend of mine, Mary Tafa. Love you, miss you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's also her birthday too, so nice big hug to my sister and my friend Mary.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you all.
Big sis Chinelo and Mary and everybody who is celebrating today and
Yes.
those who are celebrating tomorrow. And here from the stadium, we say Merry Christmas in advance. We'll be with you again tomorrow, same time in the evening. Thanks to Queen Jane. Thanks to Dan and his team there who got there. And thanks to Desmond and Mr. Monday, especially in the same cast. Without them, you won't see these are ugly faces. But after Christmas, maybe the face will find small share. Stay tuned, because Human Rights Radio has a lot of programs lined up for you. You won't miss a thing. Till tomorrow again, good night.
with the program, but rather the kind answer we go convince everybody where they listen.